Michael Jordan is one of the best basketball players of all time, so it's no surprise that many people call him the GOAT. He was a great shooting guard who helped at both ends of the court. Throughout his career, Michael Jordan played for the Chicago Bulls and the Washington Wizards, producing phenomenal results. It's obviously hard to do better on the court than what Michael Jordan did in the 1990s. But first, a reminder about our brand new giveaway. We're giving away a PS5 with a copy of NBA 2022 and Madden 22. All you have to do is watch the full video, leave a like, comment the keyword hidden in the video, and make sure you're subscribed. It's that simple. Firstly, let's talk about Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is the best player to ever step foot on the basketball court. Does everyone agree? Okay. As a decorated star and a phenomenal athlete with a rare blend of technical proficiency and unparalleled competitive drive, Jordan single-handedly reimagined the role of an NBA superstar. Even the biggest stars of his time knew that Jordan was in a class by himself. On one occasion, Magic Johnson said, "There's Michael Jordan and the rest of the players." Michael Jordan's 63 points against the Boston Celtics in a playoff game during his second season was one of the highlights of that season, and Larry Bird called him God in disguise. Considering the number of awards Jordan claimed during his brilliant career, we can agree with these legends. Jordan won 6 NBA titles, got 14 MVP awards, played in 14 All-Star games, won 10 scoring titles, and the list of things he did goes on and on. But he has done much more than just win awards and championships. He became a star right away as a rookie with an unbeatable first step and acrobatic drives and dunks, and by the end of his career, he was a cultural icon. Along the way, he became a true champion who helped spread the NBA around the world with his dynamic skills on the court and his style. He was seen as Air Jordan in a sneaker ad campaign, and as the star of the movie Space Jam, he also endorsed other products. But he did disappear into retirement twice, only to come back until he called it quits for good at the end of the 2002-03 season. With a career like that, there's no way even Jordan could top that, right? Moving on to why a former NBA big man, Olden Polynice, thinks otherwise. Michael Jordan obviously came as close as any basketball player has to mastering the game, but it seems like some people think he could have been a better player. Olden Polynice, the Haiti-based basketball player, is one of them. Polynice, a 6'11" tall and imposing figure, played in the NBA for 15 years with 5 different teams. He's the first athlete in the United States to go on a hunger strike in the middle of the season. He did this to protest how HIV-positive prisoners at Guantanamo Bay were being treated. Polynice kept a close connection to basketball even after he retired, and he often helps out in his home country of Haiti through humanitarian work. Former NBA center Olden Polynice recently told NBA insider Brandon Scoop B. Robinson of Bally Sports that he believes Michael Jordan could have been even more successful if he had given up eating McDonald's and smoking. Olsen argued that, can you imagine what Michael Jordan would have been like if he didn't drink or smoke and ate healthy instead of McDonald's? Can you picture Michael Jordan like that, who'd actually go to the gym every day? That Jordan? Holly Christmas. Michael Jordan's legacy is very hard to beat even today, but Olden says that he would have been a better player if he hadn't had bad habits. Touché. Imagine that a guy who was called a god by a legend could have been on a higher level if he didn't have bad habits. Next up, let's talk about what stopped us from getting an even greater GOAT. Despite being highly competitive and among the most fierce NBA players of all time, Michael Jordan did have a serious problem with gambling addiction, among other bad habits Olden Polynice discussed. It's common knowledge that bad habits like eating McDonald's, binge drinking, and smoking are all harmful to your health, but it is not uncommon to see athletes engage in all 3 of these sorts of activities. Michael Jordan was often seen having a good time away from the court, as evidenced by his penchant for cigars and tequila. On the other hand, Jordan was completely focused on the game at hand on the court and prepared to do whatever it took to win. It's clear that Michael Jordan was already good enough that he didn't need to worry about the negative consequences of his unhealthy habits, but he could have been even better if he hadn't engaged in them. But some still argue that the difference would have been so minute that it'd be unnoticeable. Truth be told, these habits are what ultimately shaped Jordan's persona and who he was. The fact that he smoked cigars before games gave him an air of menace. People saw these as flaws, but they were actually strengths, and Michael knew exactly how to use them. Regarding Olden, we hear you, but we think this might be one of those things that gets a lot of attention at first, but then fades away. Either way, we had a menace on the court who's unparalleled even today. Not to forget Michael Jordan's response when asked about his career. When asked if he had any regrets or disappointments disappointments about his career, Jordan's answer was simple: none. He had no regrets about how he worked, ate, gambled, or smoked cigars. The legend of the Chicago Bulls gives all the credit to his parents. They taught him when he was young that his awards and reputation didn't define him. His parents taught him very well that one shouldn't wear their reputation, their awards, or their personality on their sleeve and let life happen. Jordan also said he's not sorry about anything and argued that if you look at history and decide to change one thing, something else will also change unintentionally. People also think Jordan retired from the league early after his first three-peat as a punishment for his gambling problem. Moving on to some other news, we have the Big Shaq, who believes NBA stars are overpaid. Shaquille O'Neal is without a doubt one of the best players in NBA history. Since he retired, no one has been able to beat opponents and teams as well as he did. Shaq is truly a once-in-a-lifetime player, and you could say that the way the game is played now would make him even harder to stop. In a recent podcast interview with Patrick Bet-David, Shaq talked about the huge contracts that teams are giving to players who aren't even as good as their lucrative contracts. Shaq is known for saying what he thinks and not holding back, and this time was no different when he talked about how much he would make in today's NBA, while also making a subtle dig at the current generation of NBA players. He said if he had $600 million, it would be great, and those bumps are making $600 million every 2 years. Shaq also argued that he'd make $200 million per year in such a scenario, and expressed that he really wants to compete with these little cupcakes and wishes he was playing right now. Next up, Wilt Chamberlain admits his happiest moments were away from the NBA. Wilt Chamberlain was arguably the best basketball player of his time. Even though he retired in the 1970s, he's still held in great regard. The Giant scored and grabbed rebounds as though no one else was on the court due to his enormous stature and power. Though Wilt won only 2 NBA titles, he was nonetheless more successful individually than Bill Russell's teams were. Regardless of all the success in the association, Chamberlain's most memorable moments were outside of the NBA. In fact, he realized his happiest moments came after he gave up basketball for good. He mentioned in his autobiography that not long after he was retired, his favorite year came, the one he was with the Harlem Globetrotters, with no one constantly reminding him to break a record. He'd simply go out on the court, play, and have fun. As fans, it's easy to think that our favorite athletes are living the dream, but this is a great reminder that they are still people. We've talked about some great legends in the news, but let's talk about a rookie that might be on the rise. Finally, let's talk about Beauchamp benefiting from Milwaukee Bucks development. MarJon Beauchamp might not make a huge difference in his first season, but he will benefit from Milwaukee's development. The Bucks are potential title contenders with superstar Giannis and drafted one rookie, MarJon Beauchamp, in the 2022 NBA draft. However, he may have a difficult time earning significant playing time with inconsistent play time here and there, but in the least, MarJon will benefit from Milwaukee's strong recent developmental stretch. Beauchamp, being a rangy wing, is exactly the type of guy Milwaukee could help develop into a hyper-productive piece. Even if Beauchamp impresses early on and earns some spot starts here and there, we wouldn't put too much stock in him getting significant minutes when the playoffs roll around. But based on Milwaukee's recent performances, there's no doubt that the team can help realize Beauchamp's potential. That's it for this video. Let us know who's your favorite NBA star and why down in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next video.